Okay, here on the left side, the tab, if you guys just click on the resource tab, okay, and then here's some just information that I've put in here. So you have a registration video that I created for all the students to watch. It's also available for all the parents to watch. There's a PowerPoint slide as well. I've put it in here for the parents to watch. It's got just, I'm going to go through the PowerPoint today a little bit. And so it just talks about towards the end, which you'll see the PowerPoint, it will show you kind of the process of registered classes in Skyward. And then there's an EIC open house packet, kind of, it's a virtual walkthrough of the new EIC program. It's part of one of the focuses that we have here. It's actually pretty cool. It's innovation, it's Entrepreneurship Innovation Center, and it's being created at the old Columbia State University right there across from Franklin High School. And this packet right here will help you kind of see what's going on there, which is kind of cool. So with that being said, I just wanted to show you where all of the information I'm going to show you guys here in a little bit. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen there. I'm going to share now my first screen. So we're going to talk about just registration, okay? So registration, guys. So it started Monday. All your students should have received a registration form with all the classes on there that they will walk around and talk to their teachers about, talk to them about what they think they should take next year. Skyward opens February 1st. That's when you guys can go into Skyward and you can start registering for classes, okay? When we get towards the end of this slide, this PowerPoints, I'll show you just the way, but you should end up with 16, okay? So traditional students, in-person students, you guys, they will meet in my office on February 9th through, I believe it's the 12th. And I'll probably push it later into that next week because I got to meet with every freshman one-on-one for about 15-20 minutes. And we're going to discuss their 10th grade schedule. We're going to talk about junior and senior year. We're going to plan that out. And then we're going to talk about, we have a needs assessment, okay? Their social, emotional health and well-being is just as important as their academics. So I just want to see where they are, just because for the fact that we're going through a global pandemic, you know, and it's caused a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. It's caused some depression. And I just want to see this, just see where we are with our kids, you know, and that's important to me. Their social and emotional health is important to me just as their academics. And also in that needs assessment, when they meet with me, we will have a goal section, and I want us to be able to set some goals with them, every freshman. Goals for sophomore year, you know, it could be, you know, I want to fulfill so many hours of community service. You know, I want to raise my GPA. I want to make straight A's. I want to join this club. So there's so many that we can choose from that they can create for themselves. Okay, so that's kind of what the registration process is going to look like. So we're going to move on. This next slide is kind of just a example schedule of what 10th grade kind of looks like. Okay, so English 2 is pretty cut and dry. You know, it's, you know, you're taking English 2 standard, you're taking English 2 honors. English and math, you need the 4 years. So every year we're taking math. Every year we're taking English. So with that being said, math, your student should either be in Algebra 1 Standard, Algebra 1 Honors, okay? Either Geometry or Geometry Honors, or some maybe in Algebra 2, okay? And so if you're in Algebra 1, you're probably be recommended to go to Geometry to go to Algebra 2, and Algebra 2 to move on to Pre-Cal, okay? So English and math 4 years both, all year, every year here. Science, third. So all freshmen take biology. So those teachers, their teacher will either recommend for physical science or chemistry. Okay, those are the two for sophomores to take. They need those classes to take before they get to the physics and the chemistry AP and the biology AP. Okay, these classes are a foundation for those high level classes. Okay, so science is 3 years. So is social studies, number 4. Some students are in world history standard, world history honors, or AP HUG, which is human geography. Okay. So next year, world history will be offered standard and honors, so as well as human geography, and also AP Euro will be offered, and world AP will be offered. Okay. Those are the offerings for those students. Okay. 5th will be lunch / enrichment. That's a set in stone. And then 6, elective or focus area. So your focus area, we have 7 to choose from. I spoke with all the students today about the focus areas. And so we have, like I said, we have 7, humanitarian fine arts, entrepreneurship, IT, STEM, AP, and 2 more. I'm thinking of them. I'll think of them in a second. But within those courses, within the focus area, you have to have 3 credits out of that focus area. And so
Foreign language, Coach Fleet.
Huh?
One of our parents said foreign language. Thank you.
Okay, I didn't see that. We'll get to foreign language here in a second. So it's humanitarian fine arts, TV and film, business management, entrepreneurship, information technology, STEM, and AP. Those are the 7 focus areas. Okay, and I'll share my screen on that here in a second. But your student selects one, and they have to fulfill 3 credits out of that one, and we can't intertwine those. Study hall is optional. If your student would like to just take out their study hall and add another course there, that's more likely possible. And then our world language area, is that something that we need to start a track on if we have not done that yet. So kind of just how we decide on what courses that need to be taken. Over there to the left, just those are our levels. So standard, honors, and advanced placement. So I talked to the kids today as well, and I talked to them about, I look at it as thirds in sections. And so if your child, I want to challenge them, I want to make their high school experience impactful. And so if they're if they test in the 70 percentile, that's high, and, they're recommended to take an AP course. They come to me and say, Coach Fleet, I really want to take an honors class. I'm going to be like, tell me why. Because you have the placement to take the AP course. And when I do, these are the things that I'm going to look for, teacher recommendations, test scores, grades, goals. So you're motivated, extracurricular activities, your executive functioning skills, how well you organize, how good are your time management skills. So a lot goes into making a decision. Let's see. I think it's appropriate. So you guys are familiar with the honors courses, you get the 3 extra points. In the honor courses, AP is you get 5 each semester. So if you get a 90 in the AP course, you get the 5 points added on. Your student ends up with a 95. So you go from a B to an A. Dual credit are 4, and those we'll talk those are more in our junior, senior year, and then dual enrollment, okay? Something also important is knowing our grading scale versus the Tennessee Unified Grading Scale. Right here in this section underneath, this is Brentwood High's grading scale. And so, you know, if we get an A here, you know, it's a 4.0, and honors 4.5, and AP 5.0. So 91 here is an A. The Unified Grading Scale for this is the Hope Scholarship part up here is 93 to 100. That's an A. So we just got to make sure that we understand the difference in the weight of what our grading scale is with the Unified Grading Scale. So I've already kind of talked about this, 4 years of English, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then at that 4th year, we can discuss dual enrollment, which is at Columbia State to receive that college credit. Let's see, math, again, 4-year credit, algebra, geometry, algebra 2, and upper levels. These are the ones that we offer. Science, we've already talked about 3 years of science, 3 years of social studies, additional credits, foreign language, okay? So we want to make sure we're in those 2 years of the same foreign language. Lifetime wellness. So each freshman is required to take that lifetime wellness course. And then there's also a PE course that is required for graduation. And so I talked to the students as well. The PE can be waived if you're part of a sport, as in, you know, competitive cheerleading, competitive dance, competitive gymnastics, you know, there's rowing. It could be a TWSA sport here at school. So there's many options that we can waive that from. Fine art credits and then personal finance is a requirement to graduate. It is offered during the summer. Some students take that during the summer, but I will say that from experience and knowing and talking to teachers, the online portion is more work, it's more busy work than it is in the classroom. So that's something that you would want to talk to your student about. Let's see. So again, here's our 7 focuses. So a good thing about the AP focus that I talked to the kids about today was, so AP is the only focus that you're allowed to double dip. So let's just take, for example, student A. It was in AP Human Geography this year, and their teacher recommends to take a AP Euro. So student A now has 2 credits of a social studies and also has 2 credits of that AP focus. So all they need is 1 more. They need 1 more social studies and they need 1 more AP. So student A can pick up AP psychology their senior year and then fulfill that. And then they would take their 3rd credit for social studies, which would be government and economics. And so when I meet with your students for that 15-20 minutes, this is something that I really want to discuss with them. There's a 4-year plan, really 3 years, because we'll be 10th, 11th, 12th. And so 10th, we're going to set in stone. 11, 12 will kind of be, it's going to be a fluid document because some things change. This last 2020 was a world of change every day. We had to adjust to it. So we're kind of used to it. But yes, this will, I want to set this out in stone as well. There's another good slide here. These are the courses offered during the summer, okay, for this upcoming school year. The ones that say summer class, so PE2, psychology, sociology, and personal finance, all those courses in the summer are courses that you have to pay for, and they will be offered this summer. Regarding the summer classes, we are actually from what I understand, Ms. Eggleston told me that we are going in the summer on a new platform for summer school, and we have not received much information about that. But once I do, I'll put it on the Schoology page, and I'll probably have Dr. Simmons send that out on Blackboard, so you guys are able to have information for if you're wanting to take those online courses. We kind of talked about this already. So they should have taken, they should have their recommendations tomorrow, take those home. They'll talk to me. I talked to them today in the BPAC during their study hall enrichment. They didn't have a study hall. 4-year plan we'll discuss, needs assessment and setting goals. Oops. And then register classes. So like I said, Skyward opens beginning of February and it closes midnight at February 12th. That is the deadline. And so to register, so you want to make sure you log into your student account. Okay, family access will not work. Okay, family access will not work. You want to click on the schedule tab over here on the left. Okay, and then you want to go to click available courses. It should be 2021, 2022. Okay, right here. And then you should select your classes. Once you select, you make sure you hit add course, and the course should jump over here and you should see it over here. Okay, make sure F is for fall and then S is for spring. Okay, so when we finish, you should have 16 courses in your box over here. Okay, so you should see English 3, English 2 honors fall, English 2 honors spring. Okay, so you want to make sure you have both fall and spring semester selected. Okay, this right here, this is just contact page. This is how you can reach me. This is how you can reach Dr. Simmons. That's my email address, and let me see if I can write mine. This is my direct line for you guys. If you need me to call me at any time. And I believe Dr. Simmons, don't tell me, I think I got it. That it, Dr. Simmons? You're muted, Dr. Simmons.
Okay, go ahead. You said
is that your number? 4228?
That is it. That's correct.
All right.
And Coach Fleet, there are a number of questions in the chat. If you wanted to take a look at some of those, the parents have been putting some in there if you wouldn't mind taking a look.
I actually was trying to read through some of those and admit people too. So if you could just be so kind and read some of those through, and I'm going to field some of those questions. And Lori Eggleston, the department chair, she should be on there too. I will speak to something I saw regarding online program. Right now, we're doing general registration. And then what we'll have to do is to collaborate with the online program so we can determine the number of seats that will be needed. There still hasn't been any determination, about the program and staffing. And so right now, registration in general is a course request. And for those online, we'll have to talk specific, through the online program. Okay. I'm just trying to run through here. It says, I'm trying to move through and I'm still admitting people.
So one question says PE can be waived if you're a marching band. Yes, you can. If you're a marching band, we can waive that 0.5 credit.
There's a question about physics, and it says, is physics 1 and 2 required for physics C? And does calculus have to be taken before AP physics C? Can it be taken at the same time?
Let's see, I'm reading it too. Physics 1, physics 2 required. Yes, Physics 1 and Physics 2 are required for Physics C. Does calculus have to be taken before AP Physics C, or can it be taken at the same time?
Generally, it is going to be a teacher recommendation based on the student's ability. You know, those courses are basically dependent on each other. So generally, I'm going to say the answer is no. But again, it depends on the student. And so let's have a private conversation about, you know, student-specific needs. But that's going to probably depend on the student and their, you know, course loads and their ability levels.
Other question is, rising 10th grader is in OLP this semester, but we'll be back in person in the fall. So right now, if you're online and you're registering and you are coming back into the building next semester, so I spoke with a mom tonight about that. So we would, Miss Chamberlain should have sent you out the registration form, and you need to reach out to those teachers that you have for online, and then get your recommendations from them. And then you just need to either scan it and email it to me, and then I will set up a Zoom meeting with you individually to talk to about your registration for next year. I hope that answers your question. So I plan on meeting with kids online through Zoom, or if you want to schedule a meeting with me in person, you can. But I plan on setting those Zooms up for kids that are online.
There are also a couple of questions about summer school. One,
Yes.
How do you enroll? And then what is the cost for those?
So, so summer school is when that new platform I talked about, when it comes out, which we don't know much about. I'm going to talk to Miss Eggleston again tomorrow about it. So once I get that information, that's how you would enroll. All that information will be with that platform that we're using. So whatever it is, and when I hear about it, I'll make sure to put it out. I hope that helps. It's not much information, but I do know that it's just out of our hands right now. Any advantage to registering on February 1st versus February 10th? You know, I mean, I think, you know, February 1st, if you get there, you know, you might have a certain, you know, guarantee that you would, you know, be able to be in that class. Because I mean, some classes might fill up pretty quickly. So as soon as you think you know what you and your student would like to take, then I would get on it, you know. But at the end of the day, I think it's, you know, it's your student's schedule. They're taking the class, you know, and they're doing the work. So that's what I think. So EIC give any credit, and how can EIC be accommodated without affecting other core classes? So with the EIC part, EIC, it requires a study hall throughout the day, and they actually work with us in helping map out what that schedule would look like for that student. So they would either have EIC in the morning, or they would have EIC in the afternoon. And so they do provide transportation from each school building to the EIC center. And so that's something that they would work out, and we would work out as well. But yes, EIC is giving credit. Personal finance class is offered. It's offered during the summer. It's offered during the school year. And so it's a school, and during the school year, it's just a class offered. During the summer, it's a class you have to pay for. So it is offered during the school year. It's a fall It's a semester class, so it's offered during the fall and it's offered during the spring as well. 10th graders cannot take AP biology, just for the fact of that there's a lot of prerequisites that need to go before AP biology happens. Rising 10th graders can take summer personal finance this summer. Yes, more than likely. Yes, that is correct. Do you have to take finance? So this is a great question. So asking, do you have to take a fine art? So if your student has 3 years of a fine art, that third year can be an additional humanities and fine art class. So when you look at the back of the course offerings, if you look at towards the bottom, actually, let me just pull it up for you. So when you look at your student sheet, so the plus right here is additional humanitarian and fine arts. So I'm going to scroll up real quick. So if we're looking right here in the middle of the screen under world languages, see the pluses here. So once we get into those higher level of foreign languages, those can count as an additional fine art, which would count towards that fine art credit. See, I'm trying to get back to my place where I was. I'm sorry, trying to get back to where.
I do think there are a lot of questions about specific classes, which probably is going to be dependent upon teacher recommendations. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And just having had kids go through, when you're talking about sciences, I think it's important to remember that it depends on what math they're in as well, because some of the maths are prerequisites for sciences. And so that can really be teacher dependent and student dependent. So it might be something that's better to address with a teacher or have your student talk to their teacher about it instead of us addressing it here in this forum.
Correct. Cost of summer school, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, teacher recommendations for rising 10th graders, they should be going to their teachers and getting those and signed off, and they should be coming home. Take chemistry, or can you go straight into physics 1? I recommend taking chemistry before going to physics 1 AP. Regarding the recommendations being emailed, if you want to reach out to me, I can talk to you, I guess, in private about the recommendations for your child, but they won't be emailed just for law purposes.
What about this? What if someone is in quarantine and can't be at school to get those recommendations on Friday because of that? How should they address that?
So Friday,
or Thursday, I'm sorry, tomorrow, like over the next few days because they're in quarantine.
I think, they should reach out through Schoology. I think they should, they should email their teacher, and also the teachers. We also get recommendations. I create a sheet that has every student in person and online, and those teachers recommend, and I get to see those. So I have those already. Some teachers are still working on them, but the students are required to go to their teachers and talk to them about what they think they should be taking next year. So, but to answer your question, Ms. Armstead, is that they should be reaching out. If they're quarantined, they should be reaching out to that teacher.
Okay, thank you.
EIC is 3 credits. The difference between coding 1 DC, coding D1, coding 1 DC is dual credit. That's where you receive those 4 points. Coding 2 is dual enrollment. And so that right there, that question more so, the difference is that you would receive 4 points and college credit for coding 1 DC and coding D2, and coding 1 practice honors and coding 2 practice honors. You're just receiving 3 extra points for those. Personal finance, again, it's offered both online and in person. The PE class 2 can be taken online. Yes, it is offered online. Yep. I would need to look at, I believe, the sport travel soccer team. I think I would have to look at it. I think that would count. But I would need to double check on that for sure, but I'm pretty sure that would count. The EIC track and the AP track, that'd be kind of tough. So, I mean, the schedule would be pretty heavy. I mean, they could choose the EIC track for entrepreneurship, and they could also take AP courses with that. So I think the EIC program is awesome. I'll be an advocate for it. But I understand that, you know, certain kids want to take those AP classes for college. So I think that's all the questions, Ms. Armstead.
Okay, great. Thanks, Coach Fleet, so much. We wanted to take just a minute to introduce all of you to Ann Britt. She's our president-elect for the PTO next year. And since we're talking about registration and the things that our kids are going to be doing next year, we thought this would be a great time to let her come and just give us a little bit of a PTO update. So Ann, would you take it away?
Sure. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ann Britt. I have a rising 12th grader daughter and then a rising 10th grade son, and then one that will be at the middle school. So I'll be serving as PTO president this next year. And we have some openings, and we would love for some volunteers from y'all. If any of you feel like you want to join us, we are looking for a president-elect. We're looking for an assistant treasurer, and we're also looking for an athletic Bruins club chair. That's the ABC club that you might have heard about. If anyone wants to join us, I would gladly accept any volunteers. You can email, it's presidentbhspto@gmail.com, or I think Mr. Kydell sent out an email a day or two ago listing all of these. So if you want to join us or are interested in volunteering, we'd be happy to have you. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Ann. We had just a few reminders we wanted to give you, and actually we're going to send out an email that will have some of the links that you'll need for some of this information in the next couple of days. So if you don't have a pen handy to take it down, that's okay, because we'll be emailing that out. One of the things we want to make sure you know, BHS has a fantastic yearbook. And this year in particular, they are not ordering extra copies. So if you think your child would like to have a reminder and a remembrance of their freshman year, it is important that you order it before February 14th. So we will send out the link for that and the information on how to do it. Bernadette, did you want to also throw in a few things?
Hi, everyone. I don't see myself on there, so I have no idea if you're hearing me, but I hope you are. First, I wanted to tell you that after we have heard back from Ms. Wade, the freshman formal isn't guaranteed yet, but it hasn't been canceled yet. So we're hoping for a date later this spring, so everyone can just keep their fingers crossed and maybe we can somehow figure something out so that they can have a little fun and camaraderie this year. Also, I wanted to tell you that in the information that Laura sends out, we will be sending something out for POGS regarding the teacher luncheon. Every grade level takes a month and provides lunch to the teachers. This year's going to be look a little bit different. Normally, we ask for people to make chili or whatever the theme is that we're going to do. This year, we'll just be asking for a financial donation to cover a teacher's lunch, and then we will purchase it, and they'll all be separate, and we can still provide the lunches to the teachers. And our day for the teacher's lunch is March 5th. So we'll have that link for the donations that'll be sent out to all of you. Also, just a reminder that I know that you've heard it before, but if you haven't joined the POGS, there is a $20 donation that we ask for each year until your senior year, which goes up because of the senior gifts that we provide to your child their senior year. So if you haven't done that yet, please log on to your PTO, the PTO BHS.org website, so that you can do that. That would be great.
Another perk of doing that too, I'll tell you, is that the way that we have to send out information to parents about volunteer opportunities and other things that are happening, if you have signed up through that website, you will receive all the communication that we send out from POGS. So that's a great way to stay connected and find out about opportunities as well.
And then just another thing for all of you, in the information that Laura's going to send out, she's going to send you all a list of the clubs and the organizations at the high school, so your children can look at it to see if there's something that they can get involved with. This has been such a strange year for everyone, and hopefully they can all look at something and say, oh, I'm kind of interested, and maybe this will spur some kids on that normally wouldn't join something, a club, to join it, just so that hopefully in the next school year they'll be able to gather and be together. And I'm just hoping that this will just get them all involved in the school and make them feel connected, because it's been a hard year for everybody. And so that's something that everyone should just seriously take a look at. You never know that if there's something.
And I would like to say too, thanks to Coach Fleet for putting that together. And you might even encourage your child as they meet with him in the next couple of weeks to discuss ways that they might get plugged in if they're having trouble with that, because we do want our students to feel connected and like they're a part of things, even in this really unusual year. Dr. Simmons, did you have a few things you wanted to share?
I do. I just wanted to give an overview of our conversation today with our students. And I opened the meeting and I had the freshman class to envision seeing themselves walk across the stage at David Lipscomb May 2024. And I said that you're going to walk across the stage, you'll receive your diploma, and then you'll step off the stage and you'll have your picture taken. And the question is, what's next? And I just encourage them to know that what's next is happening now, and they're preparing for it. And the relationships that they have with their teachers, their freshman year, the sophomore year, junior year, they all matter, because at some point they'll need some letter of recommendation or accommodation from at least 3 or 4 of their teachers. But in addition to that, Coach Norfleet, he's going to be writing letters for everybody. And I encourage them to find our offices, make every effort to just connect with us. We also, just try to emphasize that we are a support system. Usually a perception that freshmen come to high school about the assistant principal is that I'm just a discipline lady. Coach Fleet and I, we work together to monitor student progress based on those 3 pillars. We talk about social emotional health. We talk about their scholarship. And in addition, their college and career readiness. And we will soon be able to offer youth science as one of the tools for students to understand their passions, their interpersonal. And, often, in the past, we did a really good job at stressing students out and saying, get involved in this, this, and this. So now our focus is to understand the things that you're passionate about. For example, I love to read to children, and I try to connect with opportunities so that I can do that. And we're going to offer some opportunities for community service right at Brentwood High School. Some of it just may be simply stewardship of the campus, inside or out. But I want our students to begin to think of some ways where they can propel their engagement with the community, because that's a big piece of admissions to some of, most all higher education. It depends on, how they've been involved, not just the senior year, but they're looking for long-term engagement. We also encourage the students to come home and have a family conversation about their registration, but the registration is focusing on the coming year. But what I want to encourage us all to do is to sit down with our scholars and to look at where they are now, look at their attendance, to ask themselves, are you making it to school and to your classes on time? Have you connected with your teachers? Are you reporting to enrichment when you're called? Are you going to see your teachers when you need help? Because those are self-regulated skills that our students should know and be able to do when they leave us. I always liken our support to the students with a dollar bill. Our goal each year is to take away a quarter of their support, because at the end of the day, after they walk across that stage, we want them to be able to self-regulate, to self-manage their lives. And I just encourage each of you to support us as we move your scholars down the scholarly road so that they will be ready. And 2024 will be here before we know it. Just think, we're talking about the sophomore year at the beginning of the second semester. This time next year, we'll be talking about the junior year. So it's going to roll by fast. But I just want to close and say this. Parents, pat yourselves on the back. Give yourself a hug. This year has been, what can I say? I hope that it's the last year like this, but guess what? I'm better, I'm stronger, and so are you. We have an open door policy. Email us, call us. We are here. We can't do our jobs without you. So I thank you for being patient with us. When sometimes we're delayed and replying to you, we're learning how to navigate our different modes of technology. But you know what? It's all good. And I can't do my job without you. So I look forward to continuing this journey with each and every one of you. And you just be safe, take care, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Dr. Simmons. I agree. Thanks to all of you for all that you've done to make this year a success so far. Please do reach out to Coach Fleet or Dr. Simmons or to one of us POGS representatives. We've got an email that you can use, BHS POGS 2024@gmail.com, that I just sent out in the chat. And we've got contact information for Dr. Simmons and Coach Fleet. So thank you guys so much for being here, and we appreciate you. Have a great night.